Hello to the camera and to the ether. I'm wearing this t-shirt because a friend got it printed out for me. Apparently this is something I said to her and she picked the design and everything and I love it. I just wanted to show it off. Not particularly comfortable saying what I'm not particularly comfortable repeating what was written on this t-shirt because I don't know, I feel like that's too self-important, but it's not so much that I said it, but it's that I had an impact on a dear friend's life to the point where they felt like these words had to be treasured, and that's like that's a feeling of reassurance for me. Hello to the camera and to the ether, and I'll tell you why I need that reassurance right now. Should I forgot to update the title? Yes. So lately I feel like I might be becoming another brick in the wall. Like perhaps I've traded my poetic inquisitiveness and curiosity of the world and capacity to and my capacity to alchemize what I'm feeling as pain for a steady paycheck and like mind numbing corporate jargon. I feel like I'm making that exchange ever so slightly so that I don't even realize that I haven't written poetry in almost maybe a month and a half. Last time I'd written was when I woke up all inspired and just wrote down a page that I don't think counts as poetry, but nonetheless I wrote something. But the last time I'd done that was about a month and a half ago, and my passions may be slowly fading away into memory while I trade it all for stability. I can't let that happen. Neither can I. Neither can I go. Neither can I fully gamble on myself at the moment because I don't think that's a good idea. But at the same time, I cannot lose. I cannot sacrifice the passions that I so cherish in myself, because then what about me is left to love if I can't spend the time in my life pursuing the things that I want to pursue? What about life is worth it then? And I think that's where the laborious bit of life comes in, where even if you are very blessed in the sense that you have food and you have a house and a job, it becomes your responsibility to make sure that the things you love in your life don't die. Or rather, the things that you can keep alive don't die. Now, it's the same way you'd grow a plant. You water it, you weed it, you aerate the soil as much as you can, but if it dies nonetheless, then it dies. But you fight until the very end. You care for it, you love it as you would. You love it nonetheless. You don't let it go. I think it's the same conversation we'd had earlier, and it's hilarious that I'm calling this a conversation when I'm talking to the camera, but nonetheless, let's call it a conversation. It's the same thing we discussed earlier, which was how perhaps one of the simple things, but not so easy things in life is to put in effort completely and fully, but expect nothing in return, because expectations become almost the thief of the thing that motivates you to do it. So it shouldn't be the fruit that motivates you to do it. You realize that the fruit only has meaning because of the suffering that you endure, right? That's not to say that suffering is all you must endure. It is to say that perhaps when you are in the midst of the suffering that is on the way to the fruit, do not think of the fruit, for it only makes you yearn more for the thing that you do not have, rather than the thing that you do have, which is suffering. Now, savor that suffering. Let it. It's almost like savoring hunger. You savor that hunger so you can have a tasty meal at the end of the day. You savor the absence so that the presence has so much more meaning. Perhaps now is when I savor the absence of. Perhaps now is when I savor the absence of that poetic fire in my life. But at the same time, seek to re-establish it. For if I continue my life trading away passions for sleep, food, and a paycheck, I don't think there'll be much left to live for at the end of it. And I think that's at the root cause of the hopelessness that we see, that we don't give ourselves the time to be full human beings, to have the full experience of being a human being. That we live such an unnecessarily fast-paced life that demands of us things that can yet be postponed. To the point where we forget that life happens in the bits that we forget to savor. Like this moment in my room, in the yellow lamplight, this is life. And if I'm too worried about sleeping and waking up early tomorrow and making the deadline, if I'm too worried, then I'm always living in a future that's never real enough to give me the kind of comfort that this reality gives. But because I'm always living in the future, I can never feel this comfort. I think that's where the importance of presence comes in. You have to realize each day that the difference between being alive and being dead is a matter of the one breath that you draw. And if the difference is limited down to that one breath, and all of your life is that one breath, why not be present for that one breath? Why not slow things down enough that you can savor them? even if it means pulling time out of nothing, even if it means. Now, I'm not romanticizing sacrificing your sleep, I'm just saying the world we've created for ourselves demands that. Maybe we can create a more leisurely paced world, but if that is the goal, in the process we must not lose ourselves to this fast paced world. And so much of what is us is within our passions that we cannot, that we simply cannot risk it. And when I say we, I of course mean me. I think I'll lose all sense of myself if I, as self-important and fucking, you know, um, um, I don't know, unnecessarily intellectual or over intellectual as it is. I think I'll lose myself if I don't stop to think, to feel, to like, to process and write down my emotions on paper. It's almost like it's not mine. I have no ownership over the things that I create. I am a mere vessel, and I cannot dam it up. I am the river. It flows through me, and the moment I dam it up, there's no longer the flow that I see. So I'm no longer the river. What the fuck am I? I'm not so sure if that metaphor tracks, but it just, as stupid and redundant as and even if they make absolutely no sense, sometimes I must let the things inside of me flow, lest I lose the identity that is me. No, that's not to say fucking blab your mouth wherever the fuck you go. I am not a fan of that, and I'm very aware of the fact that I have a tendency to overcompensate for the silence. But it's a haunting thing. Too much silence has you merging with everything. You fade away into the background. I'm not so sure I'm in the state of my life where I'm ready to fade away into the background. I think that's why I like the way that life in Hinduism is kind of divided into, like, the eventual goal is that you fade away into nothing while you're conscious, not in your death. While you're conscious, you make conscious efforts and steps towards fading away into nothing, which is your sannyasa, which is you. I think it's relinquish. You relinquish all of the material world and desires, and you sustain. And then you fade away. But I think it's a Buddhist practice too, to that you cannot attain monkhood without first having something to give. That you must see the peak of life you must reside in that peak, you must have all of it. Then, only then does relinquishing me have any meaning. If you have never had riches beyond your imagination, are you truly giving up something, or do you simply not understand? You must first understand what it is before you choose to give it up. Only then does that giving up have any sense of meaning. I don't know. Why we started talking about that. We went off into a tangent altogether, but nonetheless, I am a little tired, so I shall turn in for the night. All I can say to you is that write terribly. Fuck it if it makes absolute zero sense. Write terribly. Sing terribly. Act terribly. Read shit books. Take kakka photographs. But keep the passions alive. Oh yeah, do a shit run. Go to the gym and do 1 rep. But keep passions alive. Because if you don't keep them alive, what are you even living for? Like, that's a question I end up asking myself, and the answer is often nothing. So I need these things so that I know what I'm living for. I live for this. I don't live to draw a paycheck. I don't live so I can make somebody else richer. I live so that I can have all of these achievements in my life. And these are not achievements measured up against someone else. These are achievements that are measured up against the standards that I've set for myself. So yeah, I hope you keep those things alive. No matter how crappy you think it might be, 1 is still a lot more than 0. 1 is closer to 100 than 0 is. That's a frame of thinking that I got introduced to thanks to this Instagram page called Recovering Overthinker. 98% of what he says makes absolute sense. So check him out if you get the time. And nonetheless, I think I've said what I wanted to say for the day. I shall go shut up and sleep. Good night to you, camera into the ether, and fares well be watching.